Hello, my name's Tiana and I'm a project/event manager and all around type A person. I created this event planning system and spent a lot of time, hours, and weeks creating it so that you didn't have to. So whether you're a rookie, an expert, or seasoned in the game, this will be a useful tool to get you planning events. This is a unique event planning system from a project manager's point of view. So let's get into it. So first off, we have our Start Here page. This will have all the information about how to use this sheet and any other critical information you might need. Next, we have the setup sheet. Here is where you're going to set up your event and set up the rest of this spreadsheet. So basically, whatever you put here is going to populate throughout the spreadsheet. So anything you need to change about the critical details of the event needs to be changed here. Do not change it on the tab, change it here. As you can see here, we've also got a currency picker and we've got up to 10 different currencies here. And once you've picked something, the symbol will come here. And then you've got your event budget down here, which you'll have to input. Next, we've got the event overview tab. This is basically for you to refresh yourself about the event. And if you're doing an event for a client, you can put the client details here as well. And of course, any additional notes that you may want to add. So that slide was simple enough, but now we've got the dashboard. This is a tab you will never have to edit. It's auto-populated from all the other tabs. So we've got the event name here, date, the location, the last time you actually updated this whole sheet system, and the time of the event. So here we've got some rich information about the summary of the guests and the RSVPs. We've got the budget summary here, how many tasks and actions you have, which ones are complete, in progress, or not started, the risk and issues, how many high, medium, or low risks that you have, and any open issues, and of course the guest dietary information is right here as well. Next, this is one of my favorite tabs. It's the task and actions tab. This was built like a project manager's workflow. So at the top of each tab, you'll always see some kind of summary table or chart. Here we've got our tasks and actions. Here you'll be able to sort your tasks and actions into work packages. For those that don't know what work packages are, they're a set of tasks and actions that relate to each other. So for example, I've put venue and venue logistics. So anything to do with the venue and the venue logistics would be in this work package. And I'd write the task, owner of the task, the start date and the due date. Once you put the start date and the due date, the durations is auto calculated, the status if it's complete, in progress, or not started, and the priority. So in terms of the priority, high, low, or medium. And as you fill this in, if we go to the side, you'll see that there's a Gantt chart. This is very project management. So of course I had to add it. So here your Gantt chart will automatically fill in and you've got your dates across the top. Today it's the 13th of April. So that is highlighted here on our Gantt chart. If you want to scroll through some later dates, you can either do it like this, where you change the different display weeks. Let's put display week 2. It was just on 1. And bang, the Gantt chart here will automatically update itself. Or you could choose a date. It just depends what you want to do. In terms of this event start date, it will take the earliest start date from this list and assume that is the event start date. Of course, every event needs a budget tracker. Again, we've got our high level summary at the top. So we've got charts here. We've also got the estimated expense total, as well as a high level summary table here. So you've got the categories, the percentage of the budget, subtotals, the budget total, actual expense total, and the remaining budget. So here is where you'll add all the estimated costs of each of these different categories. So we split them up. You can change these if you like. If you don't like these headings, you can change these. And once you change these, they will actually auto-populate here as well. So here you add the estimated total. I'm going to assume security is about £150, right? And actually, when I start negotiating with security, it goes down to £100. So now there is a -50 difference and we are under budget. So this is our budget status and it's going to track whether we're over budget for something we estimated, under budget for something we estimated, or right on track. And you can leave some comments here. This is a simple tool to use and very effective. This is an amazing place to keep track of your vendors and suppliers. Here we have the details of the vendor or supplier, the booking status, the contract status, any kind of cost deposits involved or balances involved. If they have an insurance certificate, what the agreed deliverables actually were, so you can keep track of that, the setup time they may need, and the breakdown time. And we've also got a little column here about would you use this supplier or vendor again? Again, of course, we've got a summary table at the top and some summary graphs for your visual ease. So in terms of automation in these calculations, you'd put the total cost of something, you'd put the deposit amount if there is any, and it would auto calculate the balance remaining. And the balance remaining would show up here, and it also calculates the total deposits and the total quoted overall and how many vendors and suppliers you have in total. Once you've paid the balance, you can check it off here and it will take it away away from the remaining balance. So here you can keep a live track of how much balance you actually have to pay. Now, this is quite a simple space and it's used to map out your layout and logistics. You can use another software tool, grab the photo from that and paste it right here. And here you have all your logistic notes and underneath another space to put another picture. Of course, when you host any event, there's going to be a guest list. Again, we have our high level summary at the top of the tab, so you can just grab any information you need quickly. So their first name, their last name, their +1s, emails, any details, personal details that you'll need to fill in there, their RSVP status, of course, which is the most important part, their attending count. So is it them and a +1, them a +1 and their children? You can add that here. And their dietary requirements and any allergies that they may have can be tracked here as well. And the meal choice. Sometimes at events, they get to choose whether they want the fish or the chicken. And this is the place where you put that. If you also have some kind of seating arrangement, you can make sure you keep track of that here and also write any special notes. Now, this is extremely project manager-like. This is a risk and issue log. So this is the place where you will predict any foreseeable risks for this event. Like, for example, possible food poisoning, or suppliers might be late due to building works happening down the road. This is where you'd put this. And then you'd put a number between 1 or 5 for the probability of that risk actually happening, and then assess the impacts it would actually have on your event if it were to happen. This is a score which will be auto-calculated, and then you get a RAG status. This is red, amber, green. So red being critical, green being quite low, and amber being in the middle between the two. And here's where you really show your event/project management chop, the mitigation actions. Here's where you think about how you could mitigate this risk before it happens. This is key. This is going to make sure if anything happens with your event, you've already thought about it. You've already planned it. So you are ready to run this event like a boss. So whether you're monitoring it, it's open or it's closed. Below this, we have the issues. So risks are something that hasn't happened yet, and issues are occurrences that have already happened. Because the issue has already happened, we don't calculate the probability or the impact. So we just do a RAG status. This is what's so unique about this event planning system. I promise you, you haven't seen a risk and issues log on any of these. This will help you get ahead of potential problems and keep track of problems that are already happening. Every event has a run of show. I mean, you need to know how the event's going to flow. It's got different phases. So for example, the first phase could be welcoming. The second phase could be speaker 1. The third phase could be networking. And what's good about this, you can download it as a PDF and carry it around on the day of your event, or have it handy on a tablet that you're carrying around. And you can distribute this to whoever you want. So our final tab is the post-event review. This is something project managers do often, looking at things in retrospect. What went well? What didn't go well? What lessons have you learned from managing this event? And of course, rating all your vendors and suppliers, so you can decide whether these are people that you'd actually put on your permanent books and call again. This is key for you planning your events like a professional. And that is the full tutorial of my complete event planning system. These instructions will be visible on the Start Here tab in case you forget anything. Now, I hope you're one step closer to running your event with LavenderLogic.